Hey City, welcome back to the channel. It's a girl Vermo, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today guys, I'm going to be reacting to mediocre tutorials, and this is Candace Owens School's woke college students. Okay, woke college students. This sounds interesting. I can't wait to get into the video. But before we get started, we have some amazing people watching us for the first time. If you are new to the channel, I am Vera. I do reaction videos. This is something that you love. Why not join Vera City? Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. And that's guys, let's get started.
Let her talk. For me, as women, I feel like a lot of people look at me and think I'm superficial. They think I'm vapid. They don't necessarily see that I could be intelligent, that I could speak for myself.
I'm actually talking about the real world consequences of the dangerous ideology telling women that they have to take their clothes off, that they should be on TikTok. I'm talking about real world consequences.
Observable.
I'm talking about literally the fact that women are no longer, like, they're by and large all climbing the corporate ladder, and that children are being ceded over to the state. So I was giving you an anecdotal example of what happened in my feminist class, but the repercussions of that are seen everywhere.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. So I noticed you had a lot of thoughts on feminism. I'm a feminist, but
Really fine.
I was just wondering, how do you differentiate between the extremism that exists in feminism, as it does across, multiple different ideologies, but how do you differentiate between the extremism and how, feminists like me think? I don't hate men.
It's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. It's a great question. So what you have to realize about the left when you talk about extremism is they hack words that once had real meaning, and they take them for their own nefarious goals, right? So they'll say racism, and you'll go, oh my God, no, really, racism used to exist, but now it means organizing your pantry. That's obviously not racism. That's completely ridiculous. You see something like feminism, and once upon a time, women were fighting for the right to vote. Well, now we have that. We have equal footing. And now they're using those terms. They're hiding behind the shield of feminism, and they're doing actually horrible things in society. And I blame feminists for almost every ill that we have right now, because they've encouraged people not to act as a woman, and they bash men all the time. And I think that they have contributed the most to the breakdown of family in terms of an ideology. Now, for you,
let her work.
No, I'm getting there. Okay. Now, for you, you're like, okay, but I actually am somebody that just believes in equality, that there should be equality between the sexes, right?
I think it's more culturally and socially, not necessarily in the realm of legality.
Sure. So I'm going to ask you, what is it socially? So you could call yourself something, right? That means that there's some fight that you have.
Yep.
What is it socially that you and I have as women that we don't have that men do? Why is there a need for you to be a feminist?
Great question. I love this question, because if you call yourself a feminist, or if you call yourself anything, then what are your goals? What are you trying to change? Now, what's hilarious is I believe that most modern day feminists are feminists simply because it sort of matches the word feminine. So why would you not want to be a feminist if you're a woman? Meanwhile, modern day feminists are anti-woman, anti-feminine, and anti-female. But let's listen to her response.
Women, we are undervalued when it comes to our intelligence. I think people, especially for me, as a woman who, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh,
Go ahead. Let her talk.
For me, as a woman, I feel like a lot of people look at me and think I'm superficial. They think I'm vapid. They don't necessarily see that I could be intelligent, that I could speak for myself. They tend to automatically...
Guys, don't be rude. Go ahead.
Oh my God! You can see that even the audience, they're telling her that, ma'am, what you are saying is bullshit. Like, what she's saying is bullshit. They're just theories that she made up in her head. Because these aren't even facts. They are not facts. Unbelievable. The audience, they just keep interrupting her. Let's go on.
I'll try not to be
tend to
Candace.
get belittled a lot, and that comes from men, not necessarily women, right?
Did you guys notice there how the strong, independent woman began to lash out at a man in the audience that she thought was disrespecting the honor of women? Ma'am, maybe that's why your personal intelligence isn't valued. It's not a woman's issue. It's your own issue. Speak through your talking points instead of turning into the crowd, searching for someone to be angry at.
You're saying in your personal capacity, men are belittling you, right? But when you talk about affecting actually a social change, this might be your personal experience, but does that mean that all women are going through this or that all women are experiencing this belittlement by men?
And see, I understand that, but I think also when I listen to you speak and you speak on why you don't like feminism, I hear a lot of anecdotal work and I hear a lot of personal experience, like your experience in that one class that you had, whereas I've had 5-6 classes in my gender studies courses, and I've never experienced anything
that's totally
like that.
Fine. That's totally fine.
Oh, so she's even a student of... No wonder she has all these ideologies. She's studying gender studies. Gender studies. Come on. What are they teaching them in gender studies? What exactly are they teaching them? No wonder she has this kind of theory in her head.
Gender studies course, huh? That should be the end of this conversation. But I sort of understand your point in regards to this anecdotal experiences. However, Candace Owens doesn't do that. I've seen her take ideas that enough people have experienced within society today, then has a conversation about them. But do understand that enough anecdotal experiences can lead to a data set. Statistics can be run off of that data set to paint a picture regarding what we observed. This is a lot different than what your feelings-based gender studies courses have ever taught you.
You know what I mean?
They're just laughing because obviously gender studies. No, it's totally fine. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm actually talking about the real world consequences of the dangerous ideology telling women that they have to take their clothes off, that they should be on TikTok. I'm talking about real world consequences.
Observable.
I'm talking about literally the fact that women are no longer, like, they're by and large all climbing the corporate ladder and that children are being ceded over to the state. So I was giving you an anecdotal example of what happened in my feminist class, but the repercussions of that are seen everywhere. What I am saying is that what I'm offering to you is not to feel like you have to give yourself an ism, right? Don't feel like you have to put yourself in a box. Don't feel like you have to put yourself into some weird social constructs. I think that what you'll find with time is that it constrains you unnecessarily. I don't have a problem with the fact if you want to identify as a feminist and you think that there is some fight that needs to be ended. I don't personally think that that's...
Is conservatism not a box any more than feminism is?
Well, saying that I have conservative principles, feminism is not being a conservative or being a liberal, right? You're talking about an ideology, right? A system you think
I would assume conservatism is also an ideology as well, is it not?
Sure. Conservatism is an ideology. These are the things that we believe. You could say that everything is an ideology. What I'm saying to you is that I would not necessarily paint yourself into a corner. You don't seem to me like you have any issues speaking up. You don't seem to me like you feel like you're constrained in any way. You're standing up here today. I would offer to you that there's never been a more remarkable time to be a woman in this society. By every statistic, we are doing better than men. That's a fact, right? Men have a higher, we are graduating at a higher rate than men. Men have higher suicide rates. That's why I said to you, despite how you're feeling, what are the real world implications that suggest to you that you are somehow beneath men? You might have a personal experience where a man...
we can talk about sexual assault everywhere in the military.
Before she gets into the essay stuff, I love that the way that Candace is addressing this, because instead of trying to break down, well, what's a balanced feminist versus an extremist feminist, what Candace has attempted to do is ask her the appropriate questions for the young lady to understand, why am I adorning this feminist cape? She attempted to move the goalpost by beginning to argue about what is an ideology. The difference is that Candace Owens can give you reason after reason as why she prescribes to the ideology of conservatism. However, your reasonings for prescribing to the ideology of feminism are weak at best. And that's because Candace has pressure tested her ideas versus real world experiences. You've only pressure tested your ideologies in gender studies courses or against men that you've had bad dating relationships with.
In the home.
So are these the things that you're fighting to end sexual assault?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, great. You don't have to be a feminist to fight to end sexual assault.
You don't have to be,
men and women.
She's good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't believe you have to.
It's a great cause.
But it's, of course, a part
women
of the
go through that. I just said to him, one of the biggest things that I give to every year is for human sex trafficking. It doesn't require to be a feminist. Now, you seem really committed to it. I've said to you since the very beginning, if you want to be a feminist girl, put it on a t-shirt, wear it, put a hashtag. I'm just telling you, don't unnecessarily put yourself into a corner, and to recognize that it has never been a greater time. I would offer it is a way better time in this society to be a woman.
I'm going to say something controversial, but hear me out. I would way much more rather young women listen to figures such as Candace Owens in regards to gender dynamics, in regards to modern day dating and relationships, or even marriage, than as opposed to a Cardi B, a Lotto, a Nicki Minaj, and a Megan Thee Stallion. It's even crazy for me to even think that that is a controversial statement at all. But see, this gets shut down at campuses. Meanwhile, these same college campuses are portrayed as being out of touch if they don't offer gender studies courses. Really? Gender studies? It's crazy to me to look at the current cost of tuition and see that students are legitimately spending money on crap like that. But that's the state of the world as it exists today. Shout out again to Candace Owens. I love going over content like this. I think it's really fun to watch her school not only these modern day thats, but also these modern day feminists. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, let me know your comments down below. Let's have a conversation about it, all right? And if anything, I'll see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
Oh my god, this guy is hilarious. I love the fact that he's so full of energy. Alright, so okay, so we are talking about Candace. Candace nailed it. You don't need to be a feminist before you can talk against sexual assault. Why are you a feminist? Do they even understand it? Do they even understand the meaning of feminist? I bet they don't. Gender studies. In fact, I don't want to say anything about that course. I don't even think it should be studied in schools, because what exactly are they teaching them? I love the fact that Candace is just speaking facts, basically facts. Now, this is a perfect example of going to college does not necessarily mean you're smart, because this feminist girl is definitely not smart. Candace always speaks the truth, and that is one thing I love about her. She always says facts. She says it as it is. What do you guys have to say to this video? What do you think about this? Don't leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a huge thumbs up, and please share this video. If you're new to the channel, join VRCT. Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. And that's, guys, I'll see you in my next one. Love you. Bye, guys.